Hey family, so I just wanted to pop in really quick because I've been having some really good conversations this past week and past month, and I was reminded of a couple of things about myself. And I'm going to be fully transparent and share, which is rare for me because I don't like sharing or being transparent on this. So, for those of you who didn't know, many years ago, I was a real estate coach and mentor. And while I still do mentor, I had stopped coaching. And a lot of people were reaching out to me asking me, well, can I join your coaching program? And can I be a part of your group? But I'd completely turned it off. And the reason why I turned it off, again, being fully transparent, was because it became overwhelming. Not in a sense where overwhelming where I couldn't handle the volume of coaching clients, because that was not the problem. I got out of alignment, and that was frustrating. And I'll give you an example. I could coach the same 10 people, and they would all walk away with different results. What does that mean? I would get two who would take it and go hit that thing full head on and do the work. I could get five who would do the work, but they weren't consistent. And the balance who said, I'm gonna do the work, and didn't do anything. And I would internalize that. I would literally internalize the results. And I started wanting more than some of them did. Not all, because there are some who are doing absolutely phenomenal and they implemented the things. And I used to love getting those messages that would say, hey, coach, it worked. And not just to puff my head up, but to show them, because it wasn't about me. It was about them. And that moment that we could celebrate that they did it, that it worked, that was my moment to pump them up. But I got discouraged because rather than continuing to help them grow, I started attaching myself to everyone's results. I wasn't mature enough, right? I know what I coach and mentor people on works. Hands down, it works. I've seen the evidence in people where they have grown their businesses. It works. And I wasn't looking at the time, I wasn't looking to attract people who believed that it could work for them. I was just taking, come on, even if you don't want it to work for you, let's go. And then I would internalize it that, it didn't work and it's my fault that that person didn't work. Like literally, it was my fault that that person decided today I'm just not going to get up and I'm just going to sit here and do no work. And it became overwhelming because I began to carry their emotions. And if it would have taken off, I'm going to be fully transparent. If I would have allowed it to grow, it would not have been in my favor because I was not in alignment with God. That's just me. Spiritually, I was not in alignment. My mind was in a whole nother place. And I had clarity because I knew what I was doing and who I was doing it with. I mean, at one point, I had a whole group of 40 plus agents that I was coaching by myself. Overwhelm came in, but I still managed to push through, and I still managed to touch and speak to today. This was years ago. I'm still helping some of those agents, and I love it. But I was battling with rejection. I was battling with a lack of self-confidence. I was dealing with depression. I was dealing with personal issues within my family. I was dealing with physical health becoming a concern again. And rather than me addressing these things head on for what they really were and taking control and accountability, I shut it down completely. After my last client finished, I was done and I was content on never seeing it again. But seeing people that I've coached and mentored and they are absolutely winning, is further proof that it worked. I was just not in the right mental space at that moment. So why am I sharing all of this with you? I'm sharing this because number one, I was having a session today with two agents that had just went through my Brian Buffini 100 Days of Greatness course, and we were celebrating. And I'm going at them. I'm like, listen, and da da da, and who you ain't going, because if you don't get up, I'm going in. And then I opened up my laptop, and when I opened it up, there was a video on of someone else, and that someone else was having a session. And my agents looked up, they looked at that video. I'm saying my agents, but these agents looked at that video, looked at me and said, now, which one are you, the pot or the kettle? It was one of those moments of being called out subliminally, but being questioned as to, and why did you stop? And why weren't you consistent? And why didn't you take your own medicine? And you know how we're always the best teachers, but when it comes to our own stuff, it's like, mind your business, don't worry about it. But it was that moment of, you've got to come full face with what the issue was and be honest with yourself and address it. And I am glad that it didn't grow in that moment, because the person I was back then would have taken on more overwhelming stress than I should have. And I'm glad that it took me all these years to come back to that realization that there is still a group of people out there that I would love to have an impact on your life. So I want to offer you the opportunity, because your girl's back. My coach challenged me today with a smile on her face, looked me in the Zoom camera and said, you're going to open back up your coaching program. Who's she talking to? Looking behind me like there was somebody. It was only Gizmo was the only person there. And so I'm stepping up to the challenge, because I know that there are people out there who still want to grow business. I know that people out there still want to be engaged. I know I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. And I've matured enough to understand how to separate the action from the results. Because if I don't, I'm going to internalize when people don't do the work. I'm going to internalize when people don't do what they say they were going to do and they're not consistent. So this is not for you if you allow excuses to be louder than the actions that you say you're going to do. But this is for you if you want to be coached by someone who's done the work to grow their business, who's survived the roller coaster, who's experienced levels of leadership that a lot of people have not and probably won't, because they don't want that type of pressure, is what I call it. But I've served the leadership. There's levels of growth, and people need to be served at every level. And the greatest thing about this is I've coached people at every level. Brokers, independent brokers, I've had the opportunity to coach. Teams, I've had top producing teams, I've had the opportunity to coach. And granted, everybody doesn't want to work with me. Again, I'm excited for you, because Mel Robbins wrote a book that said, let them be mad, let them go somewhere else. But there is a group of people that this is for, and I want to invite you in. What I'm doing is, for the first 10 people, you will pay $97. First 10 people. After that, price goes up. So I will link this in the chat for you to join. I'm opening my heart and I'm sharing this personal story with you, because I know that there's someone right there right now who's going through it. I know, because I talk to them. I know they're the people who have the potentiality to be absolutely phenomenal, to do the things that you said you wanted to do. You just don't have the level of accountability. You've been holding yourself accountable, and that's not going to work. You haven't had the level of accountability. You haven't had the conversations that will help you get to the next level. So I want to offer you this room where we're going to grow together. We're going to learn together. You're going to have community together. And if you're serious about getting what you want out of this business, then meet me in the group coaching room. I'm ready for you. I've had years to reignite this. And after years of battling myself about being good enough, and then watching people that I've mentored and coached exceed expectations because they did the work, how dare I? How dare I not use? I will not be the one in the Bible that they talk about that God gave gifts to and he buried it because he knew how harsh his master was. I'm using those gifts and the exposure that I've had, not just to Texas, but I've had the opportunity to travel internationally and speak and train. I've had the opportunity to travel to different states. And now is the opportunity that I want to bring everyone together. Again, $97 for the first 10, it goes up from there. I really do wish I get to see you soon. If not, I still love you and I still wish you the best and the greatest level of success that you want for your business. I hope I get to see you in the room. Bye.